Lowell General Meeting. I am your moderator tonight, Joseph Boyle. Just a moment while I share my screen. Oh. All right. And there they are. Welcome, everybody. As you heard, this meeting is being recorded to help us with our note-taking. And will be put on our YouTube channel. By staying in the meeting, you agree to be recorded. All right. If you have anything to contribute to the meeting, either raise your hand in the screen, or use the raise hand function in Zoom, or type an asterisk into the chat if you want to speak. Those are the three ways to get our attention. Our stacker tonight is Amy Baranowski. Will pay attention to the order and call on you in turn. Amy will also be our timekeeper tonight. Please be mindful of time limits. Use stop video if you need to take a break from sharing your camera, and hit start video when you're ready to return. We're going to ask everybody to follow our rules for step up and step back. This is what we do to make it a comfortable place for everybody and to encourage everybody to participate. We want to hear what you have to say. So if you have been speaking a lot, we appreciate it. But make sure that you step back and leave room for other people. Similarly, if you haven't been speaking, if you haven't been participating, we want to hear what you think. Please step up so that we can hear what you have to say. Also, because this is Zoom in particular, please speak slowly. It isn't immune from audio glitches. All right, so first, the socially distanced social hour, quarter hour. Introduce yourself, your name, your pronouns, where you live, and the question: when you were little, what did you want to be when you grow up? So I am Joseph Boyle. My pronouns are he, him. I live in the Highlands in Lowell. When I was little, and I really want to emphasize, this was well before the Indiana Jones movies came out, I wanted to be an archaeologist in Egypt. Who wants to go next? Looks to me like Marissa wants to go next.
I was just going to tell you, it's way easier if you call on people. But I guess I asked for that in my mind. My name is Marissa DuPont. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I live, oh gosh, it took me a second. Sacred Heart. I almost said Pawtucketville. Not anymore. Sacred Heart now, in Lowell. And when I was little, I wanted to be a bunch of things, but let's go with chemist. Joe, you're muted.
Joe, you're on mute. Muted. And next on my screen is Win.
Okay. My name is Win Flint. I've got a wicked cold. I sound like I've been smoking for 40 years. I live on Christian Hill, which is right above Centerville. And I feel kind of embarrassed, but this is really true. To grow up, all I wanted was to not be poor. That's crazy, but that's what I thought. Okay. Do I pick someone?
No, next on my screen is Scott.
So my name is Scott Richards. My pronouns are he, him, his. I now live in right in downtown Lowell, which is maybe new since the last time I was on here. But when I was little, what I wanted to be when I grew up was an aeronautical engineer, because I wanted to build a flying saucer.
Cool. All right, next up is Dee Halzak. Dee, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Dee Halzak, she, her. I live in the acre. When I was little, I wanted to be... Now, I'm not copying you, Joe, honestly. I wanted to be an archaeologist because I had this fantasy of going to Egypt and tripping over the tip of a pyramid and discovering a new pyramid.
All right. Thank you, D. Next up, I will, on my screen is Paul Gaudette.
Hi, everyone. Paul Gaudette from Lowell. I live in the Highlands. Pronouns are he, him. And way back, I can remember when I got my first library card, I loved drawing pictures, recreating pictures, especially zoo animals. So I probably wanted to be an illustrator or an artist at the time.
Cool. Let's see. Next up, I have, we did you, Marissa. So Tara.
Hi everyone. My name is
Hi.
Tara. I go with he, him. I live in the Lower Highland, and when I was little, I was dreaming to become an astronaut. I want to go to the moon.
All right. Let's see. After Tara, next on my screen is Paul. Okay. Tom.
Hi there, I'm Tom Barrington, he, him. This is the first time I've been part of this group. Been going to the Uncovering Likeness group that my wife has been involved in. I live in Chelmsford. I work in Holyoke. And when I was little, I wanted to be a oceanographer like my great aunt.
Oceanographer, good one.
He was actually a micropaleontologist, but I just wanted to be an oceanographer.
Excellent. Next we have Anna.
Hello, I'm Anna Houston. I'm with the Come and Start Coalition, and I'm a guest speaker this evening. I'm from Littleton. My pronouns are she, her. And when I was little, I don't remember necessarily wanting to be anything in particular, but rather I wanted to be able to leave my small little blue town, blue working collar town. And so that's what I wanted to do.
Excellent. Thanks for coming. Amy.
Hi, Amy Baranowski, she, her, hers. Live in the acre downtown, kind of the corner where they meet. And I've been thinking about this all week and I still don't have a great answer. The very first thing I remember when I was super little was a ballerina though. So I'll go with that. And
Ryan Hammond, he, him, his are my pronouns. I also live in downtown. We've been rezoned from the acre. When I was little, I wanted to be a zoologist. Most kids who want to be zoologists want to work with giant cats. I instead wanted to work with big honking birds.
Excellent. John Grossman.
Hi, John Grossman, he, him. I live in Pawtucketville. And when I was very little, I wanted to be a baseball player.
Good one. Let's see. Michelle.
Hi everyone, Michelle Bouchard, pronouns are she, her, hers. I live in the acre, and when I was little, I wanted to be an art teacher.
Good answer. Let's see, Dan G.
Yeah, hey, Dan G, he, him. I actually live in Haverhill, so feel a little like an intruder here, but I'm in the Boston DSA Merrimack Valley neighborhood group and wanted to check you guys out. So yeah, when I was little, I wanted to be a paleontologist to dig up dinosaur bones. Yeah, thanks.
All right, looks like we have a guest from Team Tanisha here.
Hello, Nate Roberts. I use he, him pronouns. I'm Tanisha's organizing director, who's running for Secretary of State. I actually live in Fall River. When I was little, I feel like I also wanted to be a lot of things. I think I heard another person say that, but I'll choose a quantum physicist because that seemed very cool. Yeah.
All right, I don't think they had those when I was little. Rick Golden.
Hi, Rick Golden, he, him. I live up on Christian Hill. I wanted to be a rock and roll star, and I'm still working on it.
All right, next I've got Zoe.
Hi, everybody. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I live in Centerville, and two things. So I wanted to be a lawyer when I was little, and then I also wanted to be, I guess, Whitney Houston.
Uh-huh. Okay, Whitney Houston lawyer. Maybe perhaps Whitney Houston's lawyer.
Like moonlight is like, you know, in the evenings, like, you know, go and do gigs and stuff as Whitney, but then like, yeah, and then during the day be a lawyer. But that I digress. So, hi everybody.
Hi. Next up, Caroline.
Hi, everybody. Caroline, she, her, hers. I live in Centerville. And when I was really little, I also wanted to be a paleontologist and dig up bones until I realized it was hot and there was sand involved.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so did I miss anybody? Was that everyone? All right, well, thanks everybody for coming. Welcome especially to our first time guests and members, potentially new members, people in the area. All right, moving along. So especially for the first timers, what is Solidarity Lowell? Solidarity Lowell is a volunteer-based group of community members of Greater Lowell working towards social justice by defending the human rights, dignity, and equality of all persons against hate and discrimination. We welcome new members. The Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee members wave, hi. Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee is your elected team of volunteers running the meetings, organizing events, disseminating relevant news, and sharing calls to action. Elections are held every April, which includes this particular meeting. Consider running or nominating somebody later in the meeting. All right. Celebrate victories. A couple that we wanted to highlight. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson becomes the first Black woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court this week. And the Department of Homeland Security has created a Detroit-based U.S. Customs and Border Protection Community Relations position for the important U.S.-Canadian border in the Detroit area. Anybody else have victories they'd like to share? If you want to raise your hand or put an asterisk in the chat.
Paul Gaudet's hand is up.
You just got the news. Emmanuel Macron was reelected against the far right candidate in France.
Yes. Dodged a bullet on that one. All right, the Coalition for a Better Acre held its acre cleanup day yesterday. There were a couple of dozen teams all over town. Big good time, and it was had by all, and a difference was made in Lowell. All right. All right. So joins for more victories. Join Solidarity Lowell Upbeat on Facebook. Our Solidarity Lowell Upbeat page on Facebook, our group on Facebook. All right. The Merrimack Valley Interfaith Sanctuary Network, Solidarity Lowell has been involved with them and helping to support.
Joe, I can do this one.
Go ahead.
I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Merrimack Valley Sanctuary Network for Solidarity Lowell, and it's been a little bit of kind of an exciting month. Bit of ups and downs with Marius. So we knew that he needed surgery, and we knew that he was going in last Monday to have some fluid drained from his head. And then suddenly they rushed him into surgery because he wasn't tolerating that well. So surgery has been done, because initially we were like, hey, we're going to need help covering the cost of surgery. And now it's like, no, we actually need to cover it now because it's not in the future. It has passed. So yeah, this is because of injuries he sustained when he was still in Africa, and specifically Togo and Guinea-Bissau. Because as you know, I'm not sure how much all of you know, but most of you know, when he was traveling from Togo through Guinea-Bissau on his way, well, fleeing violence all the way, he experienced quite a lot of violence during that time. And he actually had a broken bone in his head that got infected and was putting pressure on his eye and causing him to not be able to see. He's been having eye problems the whole time that he's been here. And it just got so bad that it, you know, thankfully he was able to get the surgery he needed, and we're hoping that his insurance will cover it, but we're not sure that they're going to cover all of it. So any assistance that you can give us, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Also, because of that, and because he's recovering from major surgery, he is unable to work right now. And he's sort of between jobs anyway. He had to quit his Comcast job. That was a bad situation. I mean, it's Comcast, we all know. They're just lovely people. And then he has another job lined up, but he needs to recover first. So he is going to need help with rent for the next few months at least. So yeah, my Cash App and Venmo are on the screen. I will pass the funds along to him. If you're more comfortable sending a check, just send me a private message and I'll send you my address. Just write the check out to me and I'll pass the funds along to him. We just do this for safety reasons because we're not giving out his real name. So yeah, any assistance would greatly be appreciated. Thank you so much. Any questions, feel free to email me.
Okay, thank you, Marissa. And wants to take a moment to note these down. Any help is appreciated. All right. Moving on. Oops, I'm sorry. Skipped ahead. To the election subcommittee. I'm sorry, people, just one moment. I'm having some sort of trouble. All right. What the hell? Just one moment. And now back to the election subcommittee. Dee Halzak is the chair of the Solidarity Lowell Election Subcommittee.
Co-chair.
Co-chair.
Yeah, so our focus right now is in helping candidates get the signatures they need to get on the ballot, because we can't get progressive candidates elected if they don't get on the ballot. And we'll have a few of those campaigns speaking here tonight. And I encourage everybody to do what they can to help those candidates. We will be having some sheets for some of the candidates. And some of us went out yesterday and worked on Tammy Gobea's campaign to collect signatures. Anybody who wants information on a particular campaign, you can contact me and I'll put you in touch with the campaign. That's about all I have to say right now.
All right, thank you, Dee. Allied groups and announcements. Please share any of the groups that we work with. Please share any important information and upcoming events. or other groups that you're involved with. We also welcome any local candidates to introduce themselves for 2 or 3 minutes. So, anyone have announcements? John?
Yeah, from the Climate Justice Front, 350 Mass of Greater Lowell, which I'm involved with, is working on influencing the climate bill that the legislature is debating. Looks like the legislature is likely to pass a climate bill this year. The one on the table is good, but it's lacking some important pieces. And we're working on getting a couple of important pieces into it. One of those is support for retrofitting, making people's homes more energy efficient and electrifying them. That costs some money, and we're trying to get some support for that because it's a crucial part of achieving our climate goals and reducing emissions. Secondly, you may have noticed that National Grid is now on the climate offensive. They've been putting out a lot of propaganda about their climate plan, which is not a good climate plan. It involves selling more gas, and we have to stop doing that if we're going to deal with climate crisis. So we're working on getting the legislature to push National Grid's gas business into some other kind of business plan, because the one they got is not good for us. And you'll hear more about that and when it's time for votes and amendments and that sort of thing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan from 350 Mass. Next on the stack is Zoe.
Hi, everybody. My name is Zozaniku. I think I've met a lot of you on this call. For those of you that I have not, I am running for state representative for the 16th Middlesex District. It's Tom Golden's old seat, and the neighborhoods are Pawtucketville, Centerville, as well as North Chelmsford. If you have any questions or would like to speak with me, I would love to have a conversation with you as well. I'll put my information in the chat, and thank you so much for letting me speak, Joel.
All right. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you for coming tonight. Next up, Paul.
Yes, hi, everybody. Maybe you want to put this on your calendar, but Merrimack Valley Project is going to try to do a celebration house party at an area restaurant, which would be a first time gathering in person. Tentatively Thursday evening, June 23rd at 6:30. More details later when we know, but we're trying to get out of our Zoom frame and have a celebration. Hopefully we'll celebrate driver's licenses for immigrants, which took a big step forward, of course, in February. And John Grossman and I were both at City Hall when Tom Golden was interviewed and got to ask some questions. And we got him on the record saying he would support the legislation. So.
Excellent. All right. Caroline, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. So real quick, GLELA will be holding its annual spring event Sunday, May 1st at 3 p.m. It will be virtual, so it will be Zoom again. And if you would like to attend or need more information, please email me at caroline@solidaritylowell.com and I will forward you the Zoom info. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Caroline. Next up, we have Dan G.
Yeah, hi. So every year, Boston DSA votes on some external priorities. And this year we voted on stopping the Uber Lyft voter referendum to enshrine independent contractor status for all of their drivers, which they tried to do in California. And so what we're planning to do in the Merrimack Valley is, we have 500, DSA stands for Democratic Socialists of America. And so we're trying to have some tabling and some canvassing events at, some festivals in Lowell and Lawrence and around the area to, inform voters about this referendum coming up and get them to vote against it. So, yeah, thanks. I mean, I'm, wondering if we have some events, maybe we can work together on that. But it's part of the Massachusetts is Not for Sale Coalition, which is, a group of 50 plus progressive organizations from across the state that are working for this. So DSA is just one organization that is working on this. So it's a great opportunity for us to work together. So
Excellent, Dan. Keep us in mind. Let's see. Next up, Marissa.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to talk about Unpacking Whiteness, which Tom referenced in the chat. So there is an introductory group that is organized by Win Flint, which you would need to take in order to start with us. But it's a 6-week or a 5-week program that helps us address, ongoing issues with systemic racism, internalized racism, things like that. There's lots of readings and a discussion that takes place, very structured discussion. And once you've completed that, you can attend the ongoing group, which is what I moderate. And what we do is we read either a book or watch a movie. We alternate one or the other. So it takes about 2 months to get through a book, which in my opinion is good, because the monthly ones, it's a little much for me. But yeah, so we do about 2 months, and then it's nice to have a film to discuss as well. So if any of you are interested, like I said, you should start with Wynn's group if you haven't attended that already. If you've attended that, please join our group. Just shoot me an email and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Next up, we're going to go to Tara Hong.
Hi everyone again. My name is Tara Hong, and I'm a candidate for the 18 Middlesex District State Representative. And thank you for the invitation to be here tonight to speak to everyone here. I know most of you, almost all of you here, and it's really nice to see everyone again on Zoom. And my district is just the Acre and the Highland area of Lowell. I'm running because it is time for change in our district. It's time to change for our state. It is time to have younger voice, a younger generation in that position. And also in my district, one of the thing that need to be improved and need to be changed is constituent service. We need to have a state representative who is active in the community, who is willing to work for the community, who is willing to answer phone call and email for the community when someone called the state representative for help. That's what I want to bring change to our district, and that's why I'm running this year. And we have website, we have social media all set to go. And yeah, also we have our first fundraising on May 7th at Pernilla. So if everyone can join, it would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. If you want to put date and other information about that in the chat, that might be helpful for people. And the last person I have on my chat is Anna.
So thank you so much. I think that I also have a little bit of time, so I just wanted to make sure is now when you want me to go forward and talk about Common Start?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, great. So I wanted to thank Solidarity Lowell for promoting the Common Start legislation on your website and for providing me with the time to provide an update. So for folks who may not know about the Common Start Coalition, we are a statewide partnership of various organizations and early education and childcare providers, early educators, parents, and advocates. And we've been working for the last couple of years to make high quality early education and childcare affordable and accessible to all families. So the Common Start legislation was heard in the Joint Committee on Education in November, and we expect a report out by May 2nd. So we're pretty much looking forward to that because it has been a while. Since our November hearing, we have had an opportunity to have what we called roundtables, and I just put the link to those roundtables in the chat. There were 7 different roundtable opportunities and included speakers about the topic of early education and childcare, but also really highlighted the fact that that this particular subject affects so much else other than just early education. It affects children's health and the ability for people to return to work. So it affects the economy. And so these roundtables specifically address some of those topics. We also had a rally just 2 weeks ago on April 9th, and that was held on Boston Common. We had about 350 folks in attendance in spite of the rain. So that was really terrific. We had 20 speakers from the early education and care community, all in solidarity with our mission to be able to provide affordable childcare to parents. And what this really means is that no parent should have to pay more than 7% of their household income for childcare. We were also very fortunate that we received quite a bit of media coverage, and we have a lot of that information about the news coverage out on our website, which is commonstartma.org. And so the real crux of the update is to say that right now, because we're sort of in this holding pattern with the House Joint Committee, or excuse me, with the Joint Committee on Education, is that there was a big announcement about 10 days ago from Speaker Mariano indicating that new dollars were going to be invested in the field of early education and care. And so 91 million is proposed above what Governor Baker had proposed earlier. And so that's fabulous, 91 million in the House budget. However, that's really just a down payment toward the bigger reform dollars that we're seeking. It's a start, but another component to what's been going on is the Economic Review Commission, which came out with their report in April, said that we really need closer to $1.5 billion. And so as you can tell, that's a big difference between 91 million and 1.5 billion. So we still need more work. And one of the things that I wanted to convey is that we are going to be having amendments debated this week in the House. And so for anybody who would like to be able to perhaps reach out to your Lowell legislator or any legislator in the area, it would be really appreciated, because what we are looking for is to first and foremost thank the representatives in the House for this increase budget investment. And I can say that of the legislators in Lowell, all 3 of the House reps, and I believe even Rep. Golden before he stepped away, are all co-sponsors of this bill. Who isn't a co-sponsor yet is Senator Kennedy. So I don't know if any folks would be willing to write a quick email, but I wanted to point that out, and I'm going to put in the chat some additional information, which is the article that was in the Globe speaking about this. And so you can tell that Speaker Mariano and legislators are on board, but the amount of the investment currently isn't quite what we were hoping for. And so we have this opportunity for folks to be able to reach out and say, great, this is a good start. And in particular, asking folks whether or not they are still committed to dedicating additional funds. And so I'm just going to put this in the chat as well as a brief message that could be communicated if you would like. And then finally, I wanted to mention that we are having a lobby day. Common Start Coalition is having a lobby day on Wednesday, May 4th, 11 a.m. Meet on the 4th floor cafeteria, by the 4th floor cafeteria, I should say. And we're really going to be focusing our efforts on the Senate. And as I mentioned, in your area, Senator Kennedy has not yet co-sponsored this bill, but we're hoping that he and others will consider that, and also will consider making greater investments in the legislation for early childhood than what is currently being proposed from the House. So I know I've covered a lot, but I wanted to bring everybody up to speed as to what we've been doing for the last 6 months and where we are, and to say that we still need a continued support from the legislature, even though we have 127 out of the 200 legislators who are co-sponsoring this bill. We still need that level of support in the budget. So I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has any questions.
All right, once again, raise your hands, use the little hand raise feature or put an asterisk in the chat and we can call on you. Any questions about Common Start, early childhood care? Looks like Paul Gadet has his hand up.
Yes, Anna, it's a great presentation. Thank you. And obviously, this is a national crisis in terms of the Build Back Better bill, which never got through Congress. But can you say a little bit about where Massachusetts is in the national effort to do this? Are we modeling a good plan that could be replicated other places?
Yes, thank you, Paul. Absolutely. It is unfortunate that Build Back Better didn't get launched, and that would have really been a great way to be able to fund the Common Start bill. And so what we are doing through this bill is actually creating very comprehensive legislation, because it affects parents, the providers, and the educators. And as I like to say, it's a real domino effect. By being able to have high quality early education for children, it also allows parents to return to work, especially because today we are still seeing that parents can't go back to work because their childcare center either hasn't opened up a closed classroom, or there aren't enough educators to come in to work in the classroom. So it really is affecting the economy as a whole. And so because this legislation is so comprehensive, we are a model for what can happen across the country. And so we have a great support from our federal delegation. Assistant Speaker Catherine Clark was featured on our first roundtable event from January 25th. And she spoke very eloquently about what is needed in order to be able to move the economy forward, and that early education and childcare really is foundational and it should be considered a public good. Likewise, on our very last roundtable, Senator Elizabeth Warren was also able to provide a video speaking to the importance of this field and how much it's needed to be able to provide accessible and affordable childcare to parents. So we do have a lot of support. It does come down to where the funding is going to be coming from. And the Common Start legislation itself is similar to the Student Opportunity Act in that it lays out the framework and establishes what needs to happen, and then to go after the funding after that. We had determined that the Common Start bill would really be implemented over 5 years. And so the monies that we can get from this session is really seen as a small down payment toward that start. And then hopefully we can continue to fund more and more every year.
Next question is from John Grossman.
Has anybody spoken to Ed Kennedy to figure out why he's not co-sponsoring this?
So I know that I have reached out with him and have not received a response. And so as I am not a Lowell resident, my guess is that he would prefer to hear from his constituents. So I don't know if anybody else here has been able to reach out to him on behalf of this bill.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if anybody in the group had contacted him. And should we, I'm wondering if we should try to do it as a group as opposed to just individuals. So I'll just throw it out there.
So I just want, in Ed's defense, I just want to say that he is down a constituent services director. So that used to be my role.
It was you.
Yeah. We won't hold it against you.
So I'm just putting it out there that maybe like we just need to like continue to reach out. And that's all. All right. I'm gonna be quiet now.
So I really appreciate that. It is knowing that kind of back channel information that's always really helpful. And again, we are having a lobby day on May 11 May 4th, excuse me. So if anybody would be able to join us on that day and come visit at his office, that could also be helpful. But if anybody is willing to reach out to him, that would be terrific.
All right, I see one last, the last question, Paul Gadet.
I've already had a turn. Someone else wants to go first, but
I didn't
Nope.
see anyone else in this.
okay. The other part I think is exciting about Anna's presentation is making this comprehensive. My union, the AFT in Massachusetts, has been trying to organize early childhood folks to raise the bar in terms of salaries and benefits and appreciation of the skill, that it's really about education and not about babysitting, and to include them in the teachers union as a separate unit or whatever we call it, but it raises what the profession, that it really is about education. So I'm glad to see this coming together, besides the union movement, but parents and employers who see the benefit.
Yes. Well, thank you. Yes, absolutely. The unions are definitely a big part of this. And we do have several of them as part of the coalition.
Great.
All right, well, thank you very much, Anna, from the Common Start Coalition.
Thank you all.
It was great to hear everything you had to say. Next item on our agenda is we had a speaker from the Tanisha Sullivan campaign. Let me kick that over to
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I didn't realize if I was going to get the speaker view treatment as well. I'm okay not having it, to be honest. I'd like to be a box amongst the people is good with me. So as I introduced myself earlier, my name is Nate Roberts. I am the organizing director for Tanisha Sullivan's campaign. Who here, raise of hands, has heard of Tanisha, knows who Tanisha is? Looks like a decent amount of folks. So Tanisha Sullivan is running for Secretary of the Commonwealth. She is and has been an attorney for the last several decades and is the president of the Boston NAACP chapter. She's running for Secretary of State because we are at a critical moment in our country's democracy, where voting rights are under attack from in state by state. And in Massachusetts, we can be and should be a leader in voting rights. But there's actually several places where we're falling short. 20 or so of our states in this country have same-day voter registration. In Massachusetts, we do not have same-day voter registration. I actually worked out in Iowa in 2018, and they had Iowa, which is pretty ruby red state at this point, had guaranteed polling locations on public college campuses. We do not have that. As a former student at UMass Dartmouth, a public college, it was a fight to even get the town clerk to put a polling location on our campus, and it was only authorized for one year and then discontinued. So when, as a country, we are facing all of these challenges, Massachusetts, arguably the place where democracy started in this country, should really not be falling behind, but in fact leading other states. Personally, I want to talk about why I am not just supporting Tanisha, but I'm on this campaign. I am from Fall River. I am in, I think, if not the lowest, one of the lowest voting turnout districts in all of Massachusetts. And I know why that's the case. It's because, like many people in cities like Fall River, I grew up in a low income, lower middle class family. And what that meant was my parents didn't necessarily struggle to put food on the table, but they would often fight about how they pay for it month to month. It meant that there were things like that throughout my childhood where our family was burdened with stress and anxiety because of financial hardship. And what that meant for me was I was very disillusioned with government and with politics because it felt like nobody was trying to help us, was trying to help me or my family or my community. And so I was like, why does it matter? Why does it matter if I ever get involved? Why does it matter at all? And when I turned 18, when I was eligible finally to vote, I kind of came to a self-realization. I could continue being disillusioned and being really angry at the system and at politics and at government, or I could get involved and advocate for myself and my family and my community. And so I did, and I've been doing campaigns and voter outreach for the last several years. And I've just continued to hear the same sentiments that I had when I was younger from people at every age group in places like Fall River and our gateway cities in Massachusetts. Why does it matter if I get involved? Why does it matter if I vote? What's the point? Nobody cares about what we have to say or what our issues are. And the reason I'm supporting Tanisha Sullivan is because we need a Secretary of State, the chief democracy officer of Massachusetts, who sees voter turnout in cities like Fall River and cities like Lowell, where, statewide, we had 76% voter turnout. In Lowell and Fall River, voter turnout lagged 20 percentage points. In places where voters are in places where the people are most impacted by policy decisions, voter turnout is lower. The same people who are most impacted have less of a voice in our state for a multitude of reasons, because in lower income cities, people are moving around more. And so their voter registration isn't following them, because they're just disillusioned from how they've grown up. And that's not okay. We need a Secretary of State who looks at that gap in voter turnout, who looks after an election and doesn't say, well, we ran an election, it was smooth, it worked out well, there were no hitches. We need a Secretary of State who says that's not enough. That voter turnout wasn't enough. As the chief democracy officer, it's my responsibility, my job to find the answer to how we raise turnout, how we get people involved, not just on election day, but every day in between election day. And so that's part of the reason I'm here today, is to ask you all to get involved with our campaign in between election days, and help us collect signatures to make sure that we can get on the ballot. So we are renewing democracy and community engagement, not just all across Massachusetts, not just in our gateway cities, but all across Massachusetts. And we can only do that if we get on the ballot. So this upcoming Saturday, we are planning to go out in Lowell from 11 to 1. We need all the help we can get. We're going up against a 26-year incumbent, and trying to do something truly game-changing in Massachusetts and lead our country. So if you are able to and can, please come out with us 11 to 1. If you could drop your name or and phone number or email in the chat, if you're able to make that time, please do DM it to me. I'll put a link in the chat as well. But all of the help really does make a difference in getting us on the ballot. We're really, really close, and we think next weekend we can seal the deal. But we're going to be able to do it. We're only going to be able to do it with the help of folks like yourself. So please, if you're able to, this upcoming Saturday in Lowell from 11 to 1 p.m., drop your name, email, phone number in the chat, DM it to me. Really, really appreciate it.
Great, well, thank you. Do we have any questions? Win, I see Win's hand up.
Yeah. Is it the Secretary of State that could make the decision to have voting on a Sunday?
I don't know the true answer. I think it might be a legislative change, but I think there's a difference in having a Secretary of State who is not just supporting these changes, but actively advocating, who's actively reaching out to state representatives and senators, who's making relationships with advocacy groups, with people in the community, who's going out and really going through the four walls of the Secretary of State's office into the community, making those partnerships and relationships, and you know, not just supporting, not just advocating, but really championing these issues that will help raise turnout.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right. Well, let me put up your. Oh, yep. Okay. If anyone wants to contact them, this is nate@tanishasullivan.com. All right. Thanks for coming. And he has put information in the chat. If anyone wants to look at that to get in touch with the campaign. All right. So the next item on our agenda, we have with us Dr. Tammy Gouveia, a candidate in the Democratic primary for Lieutenant Governor.
Hello, how are you, Joe?
Hello, Tammy. Thank you for coming. I'm well. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, glad to be here. Just really thrilled to have the endorsement of Progressive Mass. Am I just sharing with you all what we hope to be able to do together in this campaign? Is that basically the pitch? Awesome. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I think you all are aware that I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. I'm really focused on health, well-being, and dignity in this race. It really comes from my experiences having grown up in the city of Lowell. And, you know, as a young person, I knew that I wanted to give back to my community. I thought by now things would be a lot better in our communities and in our state, that our working families would have more of the resources that they need to really get through some of the tough financial times and really be able to, you know, support their children, you know, put food on their table, keep a roof over their head, and have a little bit more social mobility. And we know that it's gotten a lot harder for our working families in the state of Massachusetts. And again, so much what I learned about community and about the role of government comes from my experiences growing up in the Centerville neighborhood. So we were out collecting signatures again today. That's really our big push. It's where we could really use some additional support. I was at Wood Street Market Basket and the Bridge Street Market Basket yesterday. I was at Bridge Street again today. They're really great spots to collect signatures. People are really, for the most part, pretty friendly and pretty engaging. So if you're able to help us in any way, we suggest the market baskets are a really good place. We were able to, with our grassroots support, able to collect 1,000 signatures across the Commonwealth today, which we feel really thrilled about. So we're really pushing hard towards that 10,000 signatures, certified signatures by May 10th, getting them into the local clerk's offices. So I'll put some information in the chat before I leave. If you are able to help us out in any way with that signature gathering effort. The other thing that's really meaningful to us, because we are a truly grassroots campaign, and to be quite honest, I think we're, if not the only campaign that's not paying for signatures, then we are one of maybe 2 or 3 that are not paying for signatures. Our intention is to just stay completely volunteer run and really people powered in this signature gathering effort. But having said all of that, you know, campaigns do cost money to run. What we're finding is that when people find out about us and find out about my background, having grown up in the city of Lowell, when people hear about my background as a social worker and a doctor of public health and an activist who's really committed to justice and to standing with our working families and fighting for climate change and just making the investments in our systems through fair taxation, like the Fair Share Amendment. When people hear this, they get really excited about us, and we are able to, you know, influence people to join Team Tammy and to commit to supporting us more often than not. So part of it for us is just getting the information out that I've been in this race since June of last year and all the work that I've done leading. And so if you're able to make a small dollar contribution to our campaign, that's really meaningful to us as well. If you're able to do it as a recurring donor or a regular donor, that's great. If you know of other folks who you would like to pull together for a small meet and greet, you know, we can do it over Zoom. I can hop on a Zoom with, you know, your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, your favorite aunties and cousins, whoever. Let us know, because we would love to get out, like, as I said, in front of more people, because we are going to continue to be a truly grassroots campaign and really, truly person to person, getting the message out about how we're focused on health, well-being, and dignity in this race, and what I'll do as the next Lieutenant Governor. So that's my pitch. Just such a proud Lowellian, even though I now live in the town of Acton, but still so very proud of my roots and just what I learned from having grown up in the city, and hope you'll join us, and hope you'll let other folks in Lowell in particular know that you will all have an ally in the corner office by helping to get me elected. So just thank you all for all of your work. And like I said, I'll put some information in the chat. I don't know if there are any questions or any comments on what I just shared, but just appreciate the opportunity to be with you all for a few minutes tonight.
All right, thank you, Tammy. Progressive Mass endorsed Lieutenant Governor candidate, Dr. Tammy Gouveia.
Yeah, really proud of that. That was 78% of the vote we got in a 4-way, so feel good about that. So thanks, everybody.
Did anyone have any questions or comments? I'm looking over for. All right, well, it was great to hear from you. Thank you so much for coming, and hopefully we'll be seeing you here in Lowell throughout the campaign.
Yeah, it's so great to see so many great faces here. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye. Oh, let me put stuff
in the chat. Yeah. So. All right, everybody. So our next item on the agenda tonight, the Solidarity Lowell coordinating committee is holding elections. We do this every other year with half the committee. There are currently 4 slots, and there are 3 incumbents running for re-election: myself, Dee Halzak, and Chris Offerman. The floor is also open for nominations. If anybody else wants to put their name or somebody else's name forward, now is the time. Okay. All right. So the way that this will work is the candidates, myself, Dee, and Chris Offerman, and anybody else who wishes to be nominated is going to have the opportunity to speak for a couple of minutes. Dee and I are here. Chris Offerman will be speaking via video. And then all of the voting members of Solidarity Lowell, that's anybody who's attended 3 or more meetings in the past 12 months, will be receiving their ballot by email this week. So, Dee, did you want to start us off?
Sure. So I started attending Solidarity Lowell meetings in January of 2017. I wasn't in the very beginning, but very close to it. And I guess somewhere in 2018, I became a member of the coordinating committee. For the last couple of years, I've been editing the Rapid Response Team Action List, and I have been involved with the election committee. Beyond that, my interests are in protecting democracy. I am as concerned about low voter turnout in Lowell as Nate was about low voter turnout in Fall River. I want to see ways to get more people engaged in the process, and hopefully that will get more progressive things done around the city as well. And I'm also very interested in state legislation, so I tend to track that. And I'm the one who tends to put the things in the newsletter that says, write your legislator about this or that. So that's me. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, Dee. I just discovered we have a nomination. In addition to the incumbents, Wynn Flint has nominated, is nominating Rick Golden to the coordinating committee. Rick, do you wish to accept? Rick remains muted, but is shaking his head no. It appears to me, Rick, are you declining the nomination? Rick is declining the nomination. It appears we still have 3 candidates for the 4 seats. If anyone else is inspired to step up, let us know. For the time being, I am the second incumbent who is seeking re-election. My timeline is close to Dee. I think I was a little bit behind her in getting involved with Solidarity Lowell. I think I was early 2018, but by late 2018, I was on the coordinating committee, helping to organize things around that election. My main interests are democracy and housing. I'm a housing advocate and developer with the Coalition for a Better Acre, working to develop affordable housing and address housing affordability issues here in the region. I've been working with the coordinating committee members for a few years now. We're a good team, and I hope you give me the opportunity to continue to work with them. Barring any, looks like we don't have any other last minute volunteers. We have a video available from our 3rd incumbent candidate, who is Chris Offerman. Where is it?
Hi all, I'm Chris Offerman. I live in downtown Lowell. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And for the question of the day, I always wanted to be a school teacher. That lasted until my first semester in Teachers College when I figured out that that was not at all what I wanted to do. I'm very sorry that I can't attend live today. I had to go to an important family event in New York. I have been a member of Solidarity Lowell from the very beginning in November of 2016. Then after I moved to Lowell, I informally joined the coordinating committee and was officially voted in 2018. My special area of interest is immigrant rights. And in that context, I have also been active with the Rise Coalition and Welcoming Week Lowell in 2018 and 2019, including the cultural exchange potluck picnic in South Common. On an ongoing basis, I maintain our membership list and coordinate the monthly reminder texts. I'm interested and willing to do that for another term of 2 years. And as hopefully COVID restrictions are lifted, to get back to more in-person events for our Immigrant Rights Subcommittee. I hope to see you all next time. Bye.
All right, thank you to Chris Offerman for volunteering to continue to serve as well. I'm going to give everyone one last chance for any other volunteers or nominations. All righty, Solidarity Lowell members in good standing, look for the ballot in your email this coming week. All right. And next item is, we get to talk about the next meeting. This has been the April general meeting of Solidarity Lowell. We will be having our next general meeting on May 22nd. The topics of that meeting so far are the annual Solidarity Lowell bylaws update, as well as a presentation from the ACLU's program that they put together called Know Your Sheriff. County sheriff races in Massachusetts there's not a lot of attention paid to them. A lot of people don't even know who their sheriff is or what they do, but it's a very important public office. We all need to start paying more attention. We have some good sheriffs in this state. We have some terrible sheriffs in this state. So I am looking forward to hearing what the ACLU has to say about that next month. For these meetings, we send out our reminder texts inviting people to come to the meeting and reminding them of when it is and sending out the Zoom information for as long as we continue doing Zoom meetings. We on the Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee, as well as a couple of other longtime volunteers, do this. It's basically sending out a text with the script that sending out text to based on a script that we send you to a list of people that we send you. If anybody can help out with this, many hands make short work. Looks like Wynn is volunteering again. Thank you, Wynn. All right, if anybody would be able to spare a little time to do this. Oh, it looks like John Grossman has volunteered in the chat. Thank you, John. If anybody can spare a few minutes to do this, it's best to get in touch directly with Chris Offerman or get in touch with us through the Facebook page. All right. All right. And our guests, people from campaigns, if you want to take one last opportunity to put things into the chat so that everybody can scribble it down one last time, this would be the chance for doing this. This would be your best chance. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to all of the guests and the guest speakers. It was fascinating. The coordinating committee members are going to stick around for a debrief. Everybody else, thank you and good night.